Welcome to our morning show get-together today on WRCO. We have talked about this on the program many times, but we have a really special show today leading up toward the Cabin Fever Dance, Beat the Cabin Fever Dance on Saturday, and the Vets Roll organization. So in the studio, we have Lisa Bowen, who has been organizing these events for the 12 years. Along with that, we have Jerome Bischoff, Jap McCarthy, and Ed Jones, who recently were on a Vets Roll trip. We also have Cupcake Girls in the studio, Sophia Terrell and Marissa Biba. And we have Megan Johnson, who is a volunteer, was a volunteer on a recent Vets Roll trip. So a studio full of great guests. Lisa, good morning again. Good to see you.
Good morning, Phil. Thanks for having us on today.
These morning shows roll around quite quickly. I think you're working 365 days a year to put these on, aren't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about this year's Beat the Cabin Fever event.
All right. So this Saturday, March 7th, at the Lone Rock Community Hall, we were going to have a big event to raise money for Vets Roll to send our vets out to Washington, D.C. on a 4-day bus trip. It starts at 11 a.m. We're going to have bingo from 11 to noon. And we're also going to have meat paddles starting at 11 and going throughout the day. We're going to have a delicious lunch made by Sue Welsh, and it's going to be served from 11 until 2. We will have a program starting at 12:30 where we'll present our colors, our national anthem, our pledge, and then we'll have some checks presented before our live auction at 1 o'clock. Our silent auction starts at 11 and goes until 3. And like I said, the meat paddles will go throughout the day until they're gone. And then our great Crossfire Band will start at 4 o'clock and go until 7. So we have a lot of fun going on throughout the day, and we will hopefully be raising a lot of money to send our vets on a great trip.
Well, you've done that so far. Any idea of the amount of funds you've raised for this organization?
I think it's over $200,000, I think, so far. Last year was just over $48,000. So, yeah, it's... Every year we've raised a little bit more, and that's just because our community is so wonderful. Our surrounding communities have been so generous to us and to our veterans, and that is just wonderful to be a part of.
Does it kind of sell itself, Lisa, when you're going out and you're asking people about this and getting donations? They kind of know what you're talking about now, don't they?
Yes, they do. The first few years, it was a little bit harder to get donations because people weren't really sure what Vets Roll was all about. But now most people are expecting us this time of year, and they're just very generous with their donations. And so we have great auction items this year, and you know, a lot of times people are getting a hold of us and saying, "Hey, I've got this for you this year." So we're just very blessed.
Why did you initially get involved with this event?
Well, I initially got involved because of a World War II veteran, Herman Kaltenberg from Lone Rock. He found out about the trip, and he thought that I needed to be involved because I was a teacher and that it would be good for me to go. So he did some fast talking and got me in as an assistant the week before the trip took off.
Wow.
So I was able to go on the very first trip with 115 World War II veterans, my very first trip to Washington, D.C., and it was life-changing for me. And so I went again, that was 2010. I went again as an assistant in 2012, and I decided that, you know, there was something that we could do here to help fund it so that more veterans could go. So in 2013, the Lone Rock Auxiliary and the Legion got together and put together an event. And I think that first year we raised around $11,000. And we thought that was amazing, you know. And every year it got a little bit more. And then Don Kohler got involved. And Don Kohler is a veteran that went on the Vets Roll trip with us. I think in 2013 he was on the trip, and he started going out with us and fundraising. And when someone who's been on the trip goes out and tells their story, it's a different kind of, you know, fundraising, because he can tell what it meant to him. And so then our fundraising just kind of blossomed from there. And like I said, last year we raised $48,000, just over $48,000 for Vets Roll. And it's just a wonderful organization, and it's just so meaningful for all the veterans that get to go. When you hear them say, this is the most honor I've ever felt as a veteran being on this trip, everything that you've done, you know that it was worth it, because that's how they should feel. You know, a lot of vets who came back from Vietnam were not treated very well. And when they go on this trip, they feel like everything they did was worth it, and that they're feeling the honor now. And that just makes us so happy. So
the connections you've made, Lisa, and as you're telling your story, I'm thinking about the connections you made with those World War II veterans. I presume most are no longer with us at this time. I mean, what that must be like to have been able to, talk to them and know their stories too as well.
Yes, I made friends with a lot of World War II veterans, and a lot of them would come to the schools where I was teaching, and they would come and visit with the kids. And actually last year, I was an assistant to a 100-year-old World War II veteran, and he actually came to my school and met the kids, and he had a picture book written about him, and he came out and read the book to my students. And he actually was a World War II veteran, and then he came home and became an orthopedic surgeon, and then he was in the Korean War. And then when he was 65, he was called up to start a hospital over in Saudi Arabia during Operation Desert Storm. So he was a 3-war veteran, and he was 100 years old on this trip. And then, like I said, he came in and talked to my kids, and the history. One of the coolest things, this is one of the coolest things he told us. When he was 11 years old, he was in the Boy Scouts, and he got to meet, there was a reunion of Civil War veterans in Madison, and he was able to meet an 80-year-old Confederate soldier who was a 10-year-old drummer boy during the Civil War. And when he was 11, he met him. And I'm like, I am speaking to someone who spoke to a soldier in the Civil War. Like, this is the most amazing history lesson that, and so then I bring that back to my kids, and then he comes and then my brother, who's teaching history in the middle school, brings his students down to meet him. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So
how your students have benefited from through the years from the people that you've met, and I know that you get your class involved. They help in a lot of ways, don't they?
Yes. The kids have raised a lot of money for Vets Roll, and they've written cards for the mail call, and we've had the veterans come in after they've been on the trip and talk to the kids about their trip and about what the letters meant to them that the kids wrote to them. So, yeah, it's really important to have the kids know that the freedoms they enjoy today wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the sacrifices that these veterans made for us. So, giving back in these small ways, like writing letters and raising funds so that these veterans can go on the trip, that's important.
Tell me about some of the other guests you have here in the studio. In fact, speaking of Highland, pretty well represented here today.
Yes. So I'm excited to have a couple of my cupcake girls here today, Marissa Biba and Sophie Terrell. They are the original cupcake girls. We've been doing this. They've been in my cupcake classes since they were in 3rd grade. They're juniors now. But when they were in 5th grade, they decided that they wanted their own advanced cupcake class with not all the little kids in it, just, the 5th graders and at the time. And they wanted to make cupcakes and then sell them for Vets Roll at the time. They wanted to raise money for Vets Roll. So one summer, we spent the whole week baking and decorating cupcakes, and then we sold them at the end of the week. And I think we raised like $1,000 in about an hour because we advertised very well. And the kids, Highland is so generous to us, and they came and bought all our cupcakes, and we were able to donate that to Vets Roll. But I'm going to hand it over to the girls and let them talk about it and the amount of money that we raised this year, because we had an anonymous donor that wanted to match our funds this year. So I'll let you talk to them.
All right. Swing the microphone over there. We'll put Marissa on the spot, first of all. Good morning, Marissa.
Good morning.
Great to have you in here. So are you proud to be known as a cupcake girl?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's for a good cause, so it's always a lot of fun to make the cupcakes and donate. So.
How young were you when you first started?
Well, we started the class in 3rd grade, but then we started selling them and donating in 5th grade, so like 10.
My goodness. Over the years, have you learned a lot about veterans and those that have served and that kind of thing?
Yeah, Mrs. Bowen was always really good when we were in 3rd grade about making sure we knew all about the veterans. And like she said, the letters for the mail call and everything, like she was really good about that. And then helping out with our Veterans Day programs and stuff. So just all of those things really helped us learn a lot about the veterans.
Do you remember writing letters for mail call?
Yeah.
Anyone in particular or anything?
No, she would always just write a list of the local veterans. I never knew any of them, but we would just write the letters and sign our names, and she'd send them.
Do you have military people in your family?
Yeah, I have a great uncle that was in the military, but that's it.
Uh-huh. I want to know a little bit of the secret behind the recipe here. Sophia, is there a secret to the recipe, or are they all different kinds of cupcakes?
Well, Miss Bowen gave us all a book of ingredients and like all the recipes in there, and we just use that every year, and it always turns out great in the end.
Special decorations or anything?
Yeah, we take a couple days to go through Pinterest and think of everything that we could put on the cupcakes to make them sell more, and it's a good experience to practice our decorating skills too. Yeah.
I know that you both are involved in a lot of things, but among them, is this one of your favorite extracurriculars to be involved in?
I think it's for sure the most rewarding to be a part of.
How much money did you guys raise then from this year's sale?
This year alone, we raised $4,310.
My goodness. Congratulations. How long were they on sale then?
We did a pre-sale.
Oh, okay. So they were some that were asked for.
Yeah. There was a pre-order, and then any extras, people would come in and they were bought within an hour easily. So.
Well, I know you guys are busy in other things because I saw you in basketball as well. How do you find the time to work in all these things?
Well, we just meet at the end of the day usually to plan out our upcoming events, and after schools, after practice, whenever we can get in a good time between seasons, we have a bake sale.
Did you learn a lot about military and military folks and those that have served?
Yes, Miss Bowen made it very clear what our cause of the baking was, and we learned how meaningful that actually was going towards. So, yeah.
Do you have anybody with a military background in your family, Sophie?
My great-grandpa and great-uncle.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So did you go back and kind of learn a little bit more about the wars that they served in and things like that?
Yeah, that was we learned throughout the time we were baking, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you both have had a chance to meet some veterans that came over to the school and talked to. What was that experience like?
I think it was really cool to see the different stories of how they experienced the trip and how good it made them feel and honored, because that was the whole purpose of our baking, and it was just so meaningful to see how it was actually put to use and how it benefited the community.
Marissa, did you want to add anything?
No.
You guys are both, what grade are you in?
We're juniors.
Juniors. Do you think you're going to do it again? Another cupcake run next year?
For sure.
Good. Well, good luck with that, and thanks for what you've done. That's really incredible.
Thank you.
We have some veterans, some honored guests here as well. Jet McCarthy, let's move that microphone over there and talk to him first. We'll put him on the spot since he's a radio veteran as well.
Well, kind of.
Kind of. Good to see you, Jap.
Good.
So had you heard a lot about Vets Roll before you went on the program?
Just a couple years before, Cecil Groves went on it, and he told me all about it. And so then I thought, I'm putting my name in, and I put my name in and got to go this last year.
You were on the waiting list then.
Yes.
So were you a little nervous about it at first, to be honest?
Well, not really, but
Not really?
It was quite amazing to see what they all do.
Uh-huh. And then, when did you serve? What era did you serve, Jap?
Vietnam, yeah, 65 to 67.
Okay. And
But I was stationed in Germany. I wasn't stationed in Nam.
I see. So what was the highlight of the trip for you as you look back on there? Is there any one highlight that you can look at?
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier impressed me quite a bit. When we were on the bus, they had a video of what went on with the military that guard the tomb. And so when we got there, it meant a lot because we already knew what was going on, you know. So, but yeah, I thought that was quite amazing.
Did you know a lot of the other veterans that you went on the trip with, Jap?
None other than Jerome.
Jerome Bischoff, okay. So you knew him.
I knew him.
Yeah. So did you make some connections? You make some friends?
Yeah. Yes, we did. And our bus had a reunion afterwards. I think it was in August. So that was fun getting together with everybody you were on the bus with, you know.
So after you went in April, and then you had another reunion later last year then,
Yes,
in other words.
right.
Uh-huh. So, and I'm told that you guys are just treated like royalty. What is that feeling like when you're rolling through the towns?
You are treated like royalty. Yes, when we roll into town and everybody's out there greeting you and they wait on you like you're kings, you know. And I gotta say, the food we had was excellent. Every meal was, and I can't say enough for them. You know what they done for us.
If a military person came to you and said, "Why should I go?" They ask you to convince them. What would you say?
Well, it's a trip of a lifetime. You know, and that's the reason why I really wanted to go, because I had never been to Washington D.C. So I got to go and see some of the things that I always wanted to see and I always heard about. So
there's not a better way to go see it either, because you get to go front of the line and all of that, don't you?
In first class, yeah.
First class, yeah. Well, you guys certainly deserve it, you know? And I'm thinking there was a long, long time where you didn't think much about the time that you served, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I never really thought about it until, I'm in my 56th year of belonging to the American Legion, but I really never thought much about it until the last 15 years, I got involved more and more with that,
What was the mail call like?
Quite surprising.
Was it?
Because I had no idea that we were going to get mail call. So, and I got to say, I read every letter.
Did you?
Every letter, yeah.
I bet that was kind of emotional, wasn't it?
Pretty much, because there's a lot of your friends, from here, and then, of course, all the kids from the Highland School. I had a pile of letters.
You were like a rock star, Jeff.
Yeah, right.
I know you brought some other notes, too, with you. Were there some things that you wanted to mention?
I got here, this is a check from the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 13 to give to you, Lisa, for $500.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
thank
very
you
nice.
So much.
And then I also have a check from the Richland Center American Legion Post 13 for $500.
Oh my gosh.
That is a great
That
start.
is so wonderful. Thank you.
Nice round of gas.
Oh,
Vets Roll appreciates it very much.
oh yes.
Thank you. We'll take time out and come back. We got a couple of other guys. They think they're off the hook, but they're not. Ed Jones and Jerome Bischoff are here. We'll be back with more talking about Vets Roll and the upcoming Beat the Cabin Fever dance on Saturday in Lone Rock. We're are talking about the Vets Roll organization. A little bit later on, we're going to talk about Mark Finnegan, who is one of the founders of this great event. But in the studio with us today, we have a couple more VIPs to talk to. Jerome Bischoff and Ed Jones are here. We heard from Jap McCarthy a little bit ago. But Jerome, certainly this had to be a highlight for you, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about, did you know a lot about Vets Roll before you went on the trip, Jerome?
Not too much. Tom McIntosh had gone prior, I think a year before. He's the one that brought it up to me, and I thought, well, let me check it out. So I got in contact with Lisa, and she had some paperwork and filled it out, and got to go the first year I had it filled out. And there was no waiting period for me at all, so that was pretty nice.
You weren't on the waiting list then?
No, I wasn't. I
Not
was
long.
qualified for my age, I guess.
Uh-huh. So what years did you serve, Jerome?
I went in the military in January of 66, and then I was released in December of 67, not quite 2 years.
Okay.
And I was stationed in Munich, Germany. Basic training was down in Fort Leonard, Missouri, and my schooling was at Aberdeen Proving Grounds, Maryland. And then I ended up in Munich, Germany, stock records clerk.
Okay. Did you ever think much about going to Washington, D.C., or had you had that opportunity before?
Never had that opportunity, never, but what a trip. It's unbelievable.
Kind of a whirlwind, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, they treat you like they said, like a king. I mean, they don't, your luggage, you leave it in your room. They pick your luggage up, put it in the bus. They take it off the bus, put it in your room. Everything is done. Unbelievable.
What does it feel like to roll in with, you got squads leading you and you got people waving from the streets? What's that like?
Just going down the I system, there's people over the overpass with flags and people waving and going to different places to eat, and the food was excellent. It was in and out. It was just unbelievable how it was set up, all the paperwork and to get the timing so perfect. I mean, it's unreal. Then we did stop at that Air Force museum. That was unreal. The guy could have spent 2-3 days there. That's just huge.
What was the highlight for you of the trip?
I think it was the changing of the guard. That was so impressive. God.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, excuse me, it was just like robots out there doing their thing. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I have seen that myself. It is just someone. Yeah, I think everybody needs to see it. I really do.
Breathtaking.
What about mail call? Was that?
Oh, what a surprise, man! Oh man! I've got 8 sisters, and all my sisters wrote, and plus my niece and nephews. That was talk about. Crying time. Oh my God.
I bet it was.
Oh,
and things, when you came back from the service, you just went back on to life. You didn't think much about it.
There was no, you left and you came back, there was no reward or anything. But boy, this made up for a lot of stuff. Oh my God. I mean, it was just too much. I mean, it was really warm feeling. Special, very, very special.
You made some new friends, it sounds like, too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was, it was a very, very, very nice trip. I mean, I recommend anybody who is available to go and can go, should go. It was very nice. And I guess you can go on both on the bus and the airplane. I didn't realize that until I went on the bus trip. They said you can go on Badger Honor Flight too, so I don't know if I'll do that or not.
Mm-hmm. Certainly you would be eligible for it.
I'll be eligible for it, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then you're going to just encourage people to get out and support Vets Roll whenever they can, right?
Well, see, I never attended. Last year was the first one I ever attended in Lone Rock, and I don't know, I never knew when it was or whatever, and then I went last year, and I'm definitely planning on going this year.
Good. Better late than never, right?
Yes.
Great. Well, thanks for coming in, Jerome. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And Ed Jones is here as well. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning.
Did you know a lot about Vets Roll before you went on the trip?
I had been going. The wife and I had been going to the Cabin Fever for a few years, and I've never really. I signed up, when I first going, but then all of a sudden somebody, I don't remember who it was that handed me a form and asked me if I was ever interested in it. I filled it out and turned it in, and that May I was accepted for to go on, and I went on it with it, and that. It was an enjoyable time. I was trained for Vietnam, but I never went there. But I went to Germany. I was in Bad Hersfeld, Germany, where I spent my time. But I don't know. I enjoyed pretty much everything down the, and when we went on the vets roll and that. One of the things that really stayed in my mind was the young man that was with Jerome and I. That we had just come off of, away from the statue of these soldiers, and there was this sergeant master, all dressed up in uniform. That he had a bunch of high school kids, boys and girls, talking to, and we stood there and listened to him, and he was telling those kids that they need to stay in school, finish their school, and get as much education they could, because they were our future, and which they are. They are our future. And he said, some of you may be running this country even. He said, but and he was letting them have it, and he was telling them that they should learn all they can, and it was interesting just to listen to him talk there about those kids and all that, telling them the thing, and they were all taking it in too, and they were just taking it right in, and that. So it was quite interesting.
And you had some younger people that were helping you out as well along the way.
Yeah, everybody had about two people had some assistant and that, and we had a young guy with us, and Drone was off, he went by himself, him and I, the other guy, and they went together, and he walked with me, and that we walked. It was enjoyable. I mean, you go around and they always talk about the Vietnam Wall and all these things. You don't really get the picture of it unless you see it. And I mean, you see it on TV and that, but it doesn't really sink in until you actually see it. And the Korean Wall also, I in that and too in that, but it's all that way. Even Arlington Cemetery. Well, the something we found out was families could come and have tombstones. They paid for tombstones put on the graves in there, and because some of them had tombstones on them, which you don't see that on TV. When if you see that about it on TV and that, but you don't know that even until you see that. Go out there and visit that and that. It was enjoyable.
What was mail call like for you, Ed?
Oh yeah, it was surprising. Yeah, it was surprising how your own family members keep it from you, because our oldest son had stuff in there, and I didn't know about it until I went through it and that and found it,
Well, I'm guessing it's a lot for all you guys. You didn't really talk a lot about it with your family, did you?
Well, no. It'd been years since I've been in service when our first was born, and then, of course, they get older, you don't think about it and that, and the more when you get, like I'm in Legion, that the older you get, you more think about all that stuff, and that, and especially since being on this trip, it kind of makes you think more about it, to the time you set in the military and that, and the hardship times sometimes, and the enjoyments and all that, and things you went through and different things and things that happened in your group that you were with in your military and that. Because I know I had a soldier that was injured, even though it was in Germany. I was on tanks, and he tried to get out of a hatch because we had stopped. And actually what happened, we had stopped, and he told the tank commander he was going to get out of this. He was a driver. Well, we had turrets on the tanks, and if the turret is sitting straight ahead, it's hard for a driver to get out. Well, the tank commander radioed down to him and said, just hold on, I'll move it. Well, he had disconnected before the tank commander said that. Well, the tank commander moved the turret, he was getting out, and he ended up dragging him out with the turret. And they had to bring in a chopper to take him out to the hospital. But, I mean, even peacetime, you know, and you're doing stuff, you know, when you're out in maneuvers, things can happen.
There's always a risk, isn't there?
Yeah, there's always a risk. And of course, in our billets, one of the guys took his life, which it happens.
Yeah. Not uncommon.
Nope.
Very important that you get together after all these years, Ed. You make some new friends, and I think as you support the Beat the Cabin Fever dance, it probably means even more to you now too.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
and we plan on going this year. We have a thing we have to go to first for a family that lost their house in Christmas, but then we plan on going down there after that. So
Great. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah,
really a
you're
pleasure.
welcome.
And Megan Johnson is here as well. Megan went with a little bit different aspect as a volunteer. And Megan, you had the chance to go along with your father. What was that experience like?
Words can't even describe what that was like. So my dad called me. I don't even know when it was, but he called me and told me that, well, I just heard word that I get to go on the Vets Roll bus trip, and I was wondering if you could be my chaperone. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's how it works on this one. I said, but I'll look into it and, you know, get taken care of. I looked up, put in the application, was accepted, and then they made sure that I was able to be with my dad during the trip, so I could experience it with him. So we got everything together, rode the bus together. He had his roommate for the trip, and I roomed with Lisa. And it was just, no words can describe how it is. I mean, going there and seeing, I've never been to the memorials before, and I'm sure I wouldn't be lying if I said, even if you've been there before, it would not compare to going there with the Vets Roll. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not, because you have people who lived through that can tell you, and like, oh yeah, this on the Vietnam Wall. Yep, he was in my battalion, and this is how we lost him, and just amazing stories.
Had your dad talked a lot about it before with you, Megan?
Not really. So the most I ever heard. So growing up, when it would rain, my dad would go out in the garage, open the garage door, sit in a lawn chair, and just sit out there with the rain. I'm like, what you doing out here? He's like, you know what? Over in Vietnam, when it was raining, you knew there was a little bit of chance of peace. That there wasn't going to be too much happening, because he was actually in Vietnam. So that's about the extent. I mean, we saw slides that he took of pictures over there, but he never really talked about it much. So there was a few more things that came out. I know there's a lot that he hasn't told us, but a few more things came out during the trip, and it was just really cool to hear his perspective of things.
What do you think he enjoyed the most on the trip, or did he say?
Like, I don't even know. There's so many things. I know he liked the changing of the guard. That's a pretty good one for most of the guys there. Mail call, I think, was pretty cool for him. I was able to hand him his package of letters. It was really cool because they announced every single person. And then at one point, someone stood up and read their number. So after that, most everybody would stand up, yell their number, and then, you know, they'd get their mail call. And so it was just really cool to watch all of that. And every single one got recognized.
You won the Daughter of the Year award too, because you made a book for him, you know, for Father's Day. How cool is that?
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it was a trip that I experienced too, and I'm like, oh, let's hurry up and get this done for Father's Day, because it happened at the end of May. So got it done, made myself a copy, and he was incredibly happy to have it, because he's not one to think of, you know, photo books or anything like that. So I figured this was one he definitely wanted to have to go back and look at.
I know that others can volunteer for the Vets Roll.
Oh
thing
yeah, a
as
lot
well.
of them don't have anybody that they know that's on the trip. Some of them have had family members that have volunteered, and they decided they're going to go, or they went with a family member before, and they just keep going back. I mean, that's just how wonderful this thing is.
Indeed. And your dad lives in the area. For those that don't know, you used to work with us here at WRCO some years ago. That's
back in the day.
Back in the day. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and you're back on the radio with us to talk about it. Anything else you want to add? Encourage people to be a part of the Beat the Cabin Fever dance?
You know, my dad was never really one that thought of doing a trip like this. You know, like Jerome said, the honor flight, and I'm like, oh, it'll just be a day trip. It'll be easy for him. But then he's not a big person for flying. And then, like, well, there's Vets Roll too. You can go on the bus, and he's done bus trips before. He loves them, So if you're a bus trip person, great. You get treated royalty. We had a couple of guys say, "Man, our wife should get in here and see how this should really be done." And I'm like, well,
Treated like kings.
yeah.
And queens.
But yeah, like the guys said, the food was great, the experiences were great. I mean, the Fire and Ice Motorcycle Club, they rode with us from Beloit to the memorial and back. So different chapters would come in at different points and take over. But rain, like, they were there, and they would shut down intersections. So all, was it 10 buses plus truck and trailer could get through all in one swoop instead of getting interrupted. And then they would help the guys around the memorials, pushing wheelchairs, helping them get rubbings off of walls and stuff like that. It was absolutely amazing what they do.
For you as a volunteer, hard to not get a lump in your throat when you see people waving and waving flags, and yeah.
It was a very emotional trip.
I bet it was, but worthwhile. You'd go again if you had the chance, I'm sure, wouldn't you?
I absolutely would. Probably when my kids are a little bit older. Don't have to worry about logistics there, but it's definitely something I would. There's a reason people go back and do it 12, 13 years. There's a reason for it.
Indeed.
So that speaks volumes.
Well, good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Appreciate it. Megan Johnson joining us. We'll switch places back with Lisa. And Lisa, maybe you can recap real quickly about the upcoming Beat the Cabin Fever dance on Saturday. You've got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, I think, again, haven't you?
Yes, we're all set. So Saturday, March 7th at the Lone Rock Community Hall, starting at 11 a.m. We'll have bingo, food, beverages, meat paddles, and then at 12:30 we'll start our program. Our silent auction starts at 11. We have amazing prizes. You can come down at 11 and start looking. We're usually there earlier, so if you want to come a little earlier and look at things to see what's there. Our live auction starts at 1.
I'm guessing there's a lot of cool items there too, right?
Lots of cool items, yes. If you go on to our Facebook page, it's the Lone Rock American Legion Auxiliary, and then we have an event. You can go in and look at a lot of the prizes on there, but we have things like a picnic table, we have a fire table, we have we're going to have some of Diane Nodigal's famous cheesecakes, some of Marsh Jelenick's famous specialty pies. We have a beautiful quilt by Elaine Bauer. We just have all kinds of amazing things. So check out our Facebook page or come early on Saturday and check it out. And the live auction is from 1 to 3. And then at 4 o'clock, the Crossfire Band starts. And we'll also have ham sandwiches and chips. So if you don't get there to eat and you're coming for the band, we'll have some food and stuff there so you can eat while you're dancing.
We hope people will come out. And again, it's one of those things where it's kind of an open house. Maybe you can only come for a few minutes, but stop by. And
stop in and help support our veterans and get them out there for this trip that is so meaningful for them, and show your support for them. And we hope to see you on Saturday.
Thanks for organizing this, Lisa.
You bet.
It's always a fun show.
It is. Thank
Lisa
you.
Bowen joining us. And then earlier, Sophia Terrell and Marissa Biba. Good luck. Are you both out for softball this year? Good luck with that. Yeah, it feels like softball weather almost. And our veterans today, Jerome Bischoff, Chap McCarthy, and Ed Jones, and volunteer Megan Johnson joining us. Coming up more about Vets Roll, we'll have Mark Finnegan joining us on the line next. On WRCO's morning show, we have Mark Finnegan joining us by phone. Mark, who's the leader of the Vets Roll organization. Mark, we want to welcome you back onto the airwaves here, and I know you're excited for another year, aren't you?
I am, Phil, and I appreciate the invite. And it's just such a fun event that they put on there in Lone Rock. Gosh, I don't know how many years it's been now, but probably the best organized and smoothest run event of any of the Vets Roll fundraisers we do all year.
Well, I know that there are a lot of fundraisers, and a lot of times, to be honest, maybe they kind of lose steam. Why do you think the one in Lone Rock continues to do well and grow?
I think it's the energy that they put into it and the community reach that they have. Lisa and all the ladies there at the auxiliary, they just have it down, and they have such a I don't know if I should say web, but such a contact base there in the business and private communities. It just kind of feeds off itself, and it just stays energized. I love it.
Well, you have another Vets Roll opportunity coming up here and not too far down the road. What can you tell us about?
Well, this is our 17th year now of Vets Roll. It'll be our 15th annual trip. We lost 2 years because of COVID. And we are once again taking 11 buses, police and motorcycle escorted. And this year, our usual venue, and excuse me just a second, Phil, I might lose my signal right here, so let me know. No,
Okay.
I'll pick it up again, okay? So this year, we are actually leaving and returning to Harlem High School in McChesney Park, Illinois. It's on the north side of Rockford, about 15 minutes south of Beloit. The reason for that is our usual venue that we use in Beloit is under kind of a remodification. And then the backup one that we used in 2025, they had a scheduling conflict, and we weren't able to use them either. So it's Harlem High School in McChesney Park, Illinois.
So that's where you will leave from?
Yeah, well, everything will be out of there this year instead of out of Beloit.
I know you put a special push on for World War II, Korean, and Vietnam era veterans. Do you know what the numbers look like for the upcoming trip for this year?
Yeah, it's starting to look like this may be the first year ever that we don't have a World War II vet with us. There's still 2 on the list. These folks are 100 years old now, so we just never know what tomorrow brings when you get to that age. But we do have a number of 90 to 96-year-olds on there, which would be your Korean-era vets. And then a lot of Cold War vets. And then the bulk of them right now are out of the Vietnam era, though.
And these are veterans not only from the Midwest here in Wisconsin, but from all over the country, aren't they?
It is amazing. Vets Roll, one of the unique things about what we do is we draw from all over the U.S. And I think I was just looking the other day, I believe we have people coming here this year from 20 different states right now. And overall, since we started the program 17 years ago, we've had people come here from 39 different states.
The coordination just boggles my mind. Does it get easier every year to, these people are kind of expecting you to call and that you're going to be doing this tour at that time?
It does and it doesn't. The ones we work with year after year, some of those, like the hotel contracts, we're doing 2 years in advance. But the contacts within those stops, they change. They turn over the hotels and the military, the restaurants and things like that. So we just have an incredible team with Vets Roll that helps, I'm part of it, that works out there. Just getting out to all of them, making sure everything is lined up, all the contracts are signed, the escorts are lined up, and it always comes together. It's just hectic from here until May 17th, but it all comes together, and we always seem to be able to deliver.
And every year, you've been a part of it. Does it continue to amaze you? Are you continually wowed year after year?
I absolutely am, and wowed is the perfect word for it. Our backlog has grown. This is the first year now we're doing all of the Vietnam era vets. So if they were active duty 1975 or earlier, they make the list. And so that mushroomed our backlog up to about 600 names now. And that is the part that just gets me. And so much of that is these fundraisers. The word continues to get out. We have a number of people out of your area going this year. And then it's also the beauty of the internet and social media. These veterans, they could be from Lone Rock or they could be from Rockford or whatever, but they've all got friends in their network, and the word gets out. And so it just continues to grow. And, one other thing, if we have time, that I'd love to mention is Vets Roll continues to buck a national trend in that we're attracting younger volunteers. Currently, on our assistant list, I believe we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 20 assistants that are 25 years or younger, 18 to 25 years of age. And then there's a whole slew of them that are 40 and younger. And that's our future. You know, I'm not going to be doing this forever. And we've got people that are interested in doing it, and it pays dividends two ways. The veterans absolutely love knowing that the younger generations genuinely do care about what they did so many years ago and what it took. And, of course, the younger generations love that connection with history, too.
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it, and nice that they're involved in it. And do some of them start with a parent, grandparent, or friend, or they just volunteer not knowing anybody on the trip?
Kind of all of the above. We get a lot of the youth movement, are 18 to college age. They'll start out at the high school level. We have a local program here in the Beloit, Rockford area where we have high school seniors can apply to go on the trip. And it's it's merit-based, not GPA-based. So it's based on their knowledge of American history and American veterans and whatnot. And if they're accepted, then we have an anonymous donor that covers half their costs to go on the trip. And so that continues to grow. I think we'll have 10 high school seniors on the trip this year. And then a lot of those, as they get into their college and young adult years, they continue to sign up and go again. And so we've got some 22 to 25-year-olds that are on their third, fourth, and fifth trips.
Brings up a great point. If somebody's interested in being one of those helpers, or if they're a vet that's kind of on the fence about whether or not they should go, what's the next step, Mark?
Well, you go to the webpage, vetsroll.org, VETSROLL.org. And now we won't have the 2027 applications up for a couple months yet. But they can still, they can find out what our dates are and the events that we have coming up. We try to keep that posted. And a lot of times people just ease into it. They want to find out what it's all about and what all the activities about. And when they find out in just one trip there's 400 people on the trip, there's 600 hotel rooms, over 5,000 meals, they go, wow, there's a lot to this. And we're kind of like the best kept secret there is out there.
I'm guessing some like to stay on the ground, too. They'd rather roll with the vets than fly. Is that correct?
That's a good point. We're very good friends with the Honor Flight folks. We're not in competition with them, and we actually encourage people to do both. But there are a number of veterans that prefer not to fly or may have had an experience that causes them not to fly. Or sometimes they'll be on full-time oxygen and they can't fly. There's some situations like that. And so this gives them an alternative. Plus, ours is a 4-day trip. So the first day we go down to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, and we tour the National Museum of the Air Force. And then we have dinner underneath the planes after the museum closes. And then the second day we go out to Washington, D.C. The third day it's spent in D.C., similar to what our friends at Honor Flight do. And then the fourth day, then we come all the way from D.C. back to Beloit, or Rockford this year, with a lunch stop at the Progressive Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, where the Cleveland Nationals host us for lunch.
Wow, that's exciting in itself. Again, the kind of VIP treatment that these men and women get is just incredible, Mark, isn't it?
It is. I said Cleveland Nationals, the Cleveland Guardians, but it is. And everywhere we go, there's people on overpasses waving flags. There's school kids in Pittsburgh. When they come in for lunch, they let the schools out, and the children stand along the sidewalks cheering the vets as we come in with the buses. And it's just, we do a lot of infighting in this country, but we still have just one flag, and people really, really gravitate to that when they see what patriotism's all about and how much fun it is. And, and we have a golden rule with Vets Roll. We talk no politics. There's no political talk, no political clothing, no political headwear, anything like that. And, of course, no race, no sex, no religion, anything like that. But we keep it on a happy mode, and these conversations start up, and you got complete strangers on Sunday morning when we roll out. And by the time we get to Dayton, it's like they've just been apart for 50 years, and they reunite, or they have these common threads. And the guy from California and the guy from Montana finds out, I had that same thought as that guy from Illinois or Wisconsin did. And those stories just flow, and they naturally flow, and they become buddies for life after they do the Vets Roll trip.
Well, and fundraisers like the one coming up Saturday in Lone Rock are really important. Anything else you want to add about it coming up this Saturday, Mark?
Well, I will be there when it opens. We have another fundraiser in Rockford in the afternoon on Saturday, so I can't stay for the duration this year. But it's just so much fun to come to Lone Rock and see the community come out, and they just do a phenomenal job. It's one of our very, very best fundraisers every year. And your radio station's a big part of that, too. We've got a great reach in that area, and then just the word of mouth up there is just wonderful. Can't wait.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Mark. Good luck, and safe travels to Lone Rock on Saturday.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's Mark Finnegan joining us, representing Vets Roll here on today's portion of the morning show.